We're back again, and we're back this time with my favorite website in Dynasty Fantasy Football, the Dynasty Trade Calculator, with guys I consider friends, JP Hurley and Izzy Well, I can never pronounce it.
I like that. That's better.
Elkaffas?
Let's leave it like that.
Yeah,
it's good. Perfect.
Hey, it's good enough. It's good enough.
Izzy Elkaffas. Let's go with that.
Yeah. That's exactly what guy Zach. Yeah, it's like that guy. So here we are. Tell people where they can find you.
DynastyTradeCalculator.com, on Twitter at FFDynastyTrades.
Same spot at DTC_Izzy though on Twitter.
And again, this is, if you're looking for a Dynasty Trade Calculator, they have the best Dynasty Trade Calculator in the business by far, hands down, bars none. If you have no hands, feet down, no done. It is what it is.
Yep.
So here we are talking about unders, right? Like if you're going to be an over, that's fine, but you guys are about being unders, right? You guys are bottoms for sure.
Bottom for sure.
My
For
unders
sure.
are a little sweaty, but we can talk about them.
But it's okay. It's okay. I mean, dude, if people can't even read your eyes right now, so I don't know what's going on. You're a secret. You're a mystery. Ooh, secrets. Have fun. Now, let's talk about players that are good buy lows, essentially. What's a good buy low? It's somebody that's being undervalued. And Dynasty is a simple game we talked about before. Who to draft, who to buy, who to sell. And nobody, like, listen, sells are great, right? People love to know who to sell. But nothing's better than a sexy Dynasty buy. And when we're talking sexy, we're talking Rich Dotson, and we're talking buys. Izzy, give me a buy.
Well, besides you?
Besides me, of course. That's, I mean, it's clear as day. We're on camera.
You heard it here first. Rich is buy.
Ooh, yeah, buy.
Nothing
Is
wrong
that,
with that.
am I allowed to say that?
Of course. We're on YouTube. We can say whatever we want.
For me, I think the biggest values. Can I sneak one in?
You can totally sneak
Can I
it in.
sneak one
Totally. Just slip it right in there like it's like a
I think
three-finger thing going on.
From a running back perspective, if you need for a contender, if you need like that one guy to help you this
And
season,
we all need it. We
you all need that one
it.
guy that's super cheap. I
give it
think
to me,
that guy is Gus Edwards this year.
Gus Edwards.
Gus the bus.
Gus the bus. Here,
Woo, sneaking in the back door.
he's been consistent. He's put up 700 yards every single season for the last 3 seasons, and now Mark Ingram's gone. So you kind of got a nice floor there. So even if he puts up 700 yards again, you're still getting a mid RB3 as long as he keeps the touchdowns. If he's putting up 6 touchdowns, you're going to get RB3 production. If he goes back to what he did in the first couple of years, he's getting 2 touchdowns, then you're not. But
Well, 6 touchdowns, you argue, give you what running back 2 production. And if he gets a slight bump
Yeah.
offset from the number one rushing team in the NFL that throws the least amount of passes in the NFL, he could give you a slight bump of running back 2 production.
that's the we got the floor as RB3. The ceiling is RB2. And if J.K. Dobbins gets hurt, I mean,
Look out.
Yeah. I mean, you're getting a lot of carries there. So I think from a contender perspective, I got a lot of Gus Edwards already. I'm trying to acquire more. I think some people that basically the people that own Gus Edwards, or we can't say own, but that roster Gus Edwards.
You can say on this show.
All right, we're gonna say own then.
I own that guy.
They just happen to be already ahead of the bus.
Yeah.
They're ahead of the Gus
bus.
Yeah, they're on it. They're on the bus. From an undervalued perspective at the wide receiver position, my guy's Gabe Davis.
Wide receiver, Buffalo Bills.
Yep. Yeah, it's very simple for me. You look at a guy that we weren't expecting much out of in his rookie season, and not only did he start from the beginning, he didn't start, but he played a lot of snaps early on in the season, and he continued to do so throughout the course of the season. I think he played somewhere near 70% of the snaps, maybe a little bit more, and that's with Cole Beasley, and I know there were some injuries there, but Cole Beasley was around, Stephon Diggs is around, and he wasn't a high draft pick. He earned his way onto the field as a rookie, and he put up a respectable season, and people are still, I think, 600 yards.
And what's funny, too, is like a lot of teams are always looking for that number 2 wide receiver on offense, on a high-profile offense. And Josh Allen gets his extension. He's a high-caliber quarterback. And I know Cole Beasley's like in that matter. Like he was wide receiver 2 last year, like wide receiver 16, 17. Like he was a high-end, mid-range wide receiver 2, which is quality. But Cole Beasley's 32 years old. He's a huge advocate of anti-vaccine. We don't know if we know how the NFL is really pushing against those guys as fair as you might see it. Yeah. So his tenure with the Bills is not for long. So, which makes sense because like if you're in Dynasty, we're always like looking for youth. And here it is right here, a number 2 receiver locked in behind a high-profile quarterback with a star wide receiver 1 in Gabe Davis, who showed us that he could produce at a high level. Like I love both those choices. Like Gabe Davis is a buy low, which, what do you think? Gabe Davis for a second-round pick, no problem?
Easy, yeah, you can get him, yeah. I mean, I just got him in a startup, 14-team startup in like the 12th round maybe. I mean, it's super, I mean, that's 160th overall or something like that.
Well, that's because 96 quarterbacks got taken ahead of him.
Yeah.
Which is insane.
14 teams, yeah.
It's insane. It's insane where the value is on, and not insane is like the value's there, right? Because it's all about value. Like, where's the value and where's the upside? Where do they correlate?
And here's the thing. When you look at Buffalo and who the receivers are, like you mentioned, Cole Beasley is unvaccinated, which totally fine. But
he's 30. Hey, take it away. He's 32.
Yeah, but the whole thing, like not a suspension, but if he has to sit out, I mean, he's sitting out 10 days minimum. I mean, that could overlap 2 weeks potentially. Who knows? And Diggs, even though he's been healthy the last couple of years, if you date back to high school, he's been hurt just about every single year. So if something happens to Diggs, their only real just field stretcher, deep threat, just big playmaker is Gabe Davis.
And it's such a shallow depth chart there at the receiver position. And then you got Dawson Knox, who's their tight end, who's, yes, he's entering his third year, but he's very unsure-handed right there, so he's not a liability. The running back game is literally a hodgepodge. Like, I like Zach Moss the best of the trio, but Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, Matt Breida, nobody you're starting on a week-to-week basis as of today in mid-August of 2021. So you're looking at weapons in the passing game of a high-caliber quarterback. Obviously, Stephon Diggs, who's top 6, but who's that number 2? I would lean Gabe Davis as well. And I love your Gus Edwards pick as well, too, because it's been established, like, in the Dynasty community, in the NFL community, like, this guy is a guy who could produce. They signed him to a pretty good contract, but nobody really wants him. I mean, you're talking about the team that rushes more than anybody. You're talking about a team that literally threw the least amount of passes in the NFL, who just lost the first-round pick in their receiver in Rashad Bateman to a groin injury.
Love him.
They signed Sammy Watkins, who's shown he can't stay healthy, and Marquise Brown has a 17.5% drop rate. You know what I mean? Like, so what deters them right now from not running the ball just as much as they always run? And right now, they're on the verge of signing Lamar Jackson to a long-term contract. So they have to protect him somewhat. So if they want to continue that run base, it's got to be through J.K. Dobbins, and it's got to be through Gus Edwards. And with that floor, I'm with you. Running back 3 offers some flex upside, but due to an injury, we're always looking for that. Hey, when it comes to championship week or playoffs, which is the most important time of the year, that's the most likely time you're going to see a running back 2 come in and give you success. If you're in a championship game last year, Samaje Perine gave you like 23 points. Good enough to win you a championship. That could be Gus Edwards for you. JP, I know you had a guy as well.
I got a quick question before we go into mine. Do you think Rashad Bateman's injury is related to being mentored by Sammy Watkins?
It possibly could. They could be rubbing elbows a little bit too close.
He learned how to injure his legs from his mentor.
2 quality guys that could have a history of injury. I mean, Sammy Watkins, one of the best wide receiver prospects to come out, got hurt, never overcame it, and now he's been an absolute bust.
A sad story.
Which is terrible because he was the first wide receiver off the board in the deepest wide receiver class we might have ever seen.
That was the saddest
So is
draft
this a
of all time for
foreshadowing?
me.
Is this what's happening here?
I don't know.
Is that what this is called?
Foreskin, foreshadowing. We've all,
Foreskin.
it's
Rich is
there.
by. Rich is
Well,
by.
it was
It is
a
by.
foreskin injury for Rashad Bateman.
Was it?
Yeah.
I said on the last
His
show,
groin.
we talked with, about Rashad Bateman and Michael Lou,
So
and I
you
was like,
two can
dude,
do this, right?
groin pulls on the normal are a good thing. In this situation, not so much. JP.
All right, here
Give
it
us
is. I'm going
somebody.
to go really deep. Really deep.
Dude, some people like it deep.
As soon as I found out you were by, I'm like, I'm going to go deep.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the way to go.
I'm sorry.
Hey, I'm going to satisfy
I'm sorry.
my customers. I'm a people pleaser.
I'm looking at all the producers are just rolling their eyes like, why are they making this so sexual? It shouldn't
Well,
be
that's
that
how
way.
I operate my shows. Why people either love me or
This is
hate
how
me.
it's like probably after a couple drinks, this is how it's going. Izzy's been slamming drinks all day. So
I don't know.
I'm going to go really deep, and it's someone that you can probably buy for a 4th round draft pick.
Oh,
in
now
your
that's
Dynasty leagues.
listen. If you say
Is that
you
too
buy-
deep?
that's free. That's like free. That's
Basically
like,
free.
yeah. It's like
Can we
hey,
try to
here you go.
guess?
It is I will tell you, I'm going to give you a hint, and then you can try to guess.
Give us hints.
It
give us
is the
hints.
starting running back for the Atlanta Falcons in Week 7.
It is gonna be. It's not Quadri Allison.
Javion Hawkins? Oh, Allison?
He is not currently on their roster.
Oh, it's
Todd-
Le'Veon Bell.
Oh.
It's Todd Gurley.
Keep
It is-
guessing. This is fun. This is
Oh,
actually
it's
for me. This
Duke-
is fun.
Duke Johnson.
He's not currently on their roster.
He's not currently on anybody's roster.
Does he have nipples?
He
I have
has
nipples, Greg.
He
Can
has
you milk me?
several nipples.
I was can you milk him?
has several
So he's not.
nipples.
He's a running back. He's not on the roster. Is he on an active roster currently?
Nope.
He's not even on. So it's not Todd Gurley. It's not Le'Veon Bell. It's not Duke Johnson. So it's got to be a
Frank
Turd
Gore.
Ferguson.
Many would say that he is multiple guys.
Oh, Darius Geis. Yes, I should have
Darius-
known that. I'm such an idiot.
Darius
You've been
Geis.
talking about that. Yeah.
Very cheap, 4th round draft pick. Darius Geis, starting running back, Atlanta Falcons, week 7. So it's kind of a hot take and a deep end buy.
Here's the
Darius
thing.
Geis.
I'm a sucker for Darius Geis.
Are you really?
And by the way, Darius Geis
he's a douchebag, but go on.
Yeah, I mean,
he is, but he's a dismissed douchebag.
Dude, listen. When it comes to
It's
fantasy
all
football, like I have no whatever you do off the field. Like, that's fine. I don't respect you as a human. There's tons of players that play the game I don't respect.
It's
But,
all
like, what can you
business.
do to me on the field? It's all business.
Charges were dropped, guys.
Charges were dropped.
Charges
It's
were
dismissed.
dropped.
Yeah,
That's
they
it.
got
Hey,
moved past
they
it.
got- Yeah.
And by the way, I got to
guilty.
say a quick plug. He has the #1 best player headshot in the Dynasty Trade Calculator
I think by
database.
far.
We had
Oh,
somebody draw
dude.
all the headshots, and his is by far the best. It's
You
amazing.
got to get the Dynasty Trade Calculator just for the headshots. So they're not
Yeah.
regular headshots. Like this is like high premium head. We're talking like
the best head
the
you
best
ever
head
seen.
you can
Yeah.
get. Yes, 100%. Yeah, high premium.
It's the best. So he's buy. His head is a buy.
Yeah, like me. He's a high premium head. He's buy. It's great. It's great.
Another one, a guy I highlighted this offseason already is Mike Williams. Very
dude.
cheap.
Dynasty nerds dream
It's a good
buy.
good pick.
We've been pushing him for like 5 years. It's Mike Williams.
Good to know. Yep, and he's a wide receiver 2 disguised as a wide receiver 5 in ADP right now. So just go and get him. It's so cheap. He might even be a 3rd round or 4th round draft pick also, right? What are you gonna give for him? 3rd?
I think you 100% can't buy Mike Williams.
How
for
about
a
a
third.
couple thirds? A fifth,
No, 100%
a fifth
no.
of vodka.
You
No.
can do it for a second, guaranteed.
I wouldn't say guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
I would
I
say
guarantee you.
You're not gonna buy him
I
from
will,
Rich for a
I will
second.
guarantee.
Not
hey,
for me.
I will guarantee you can get Mike Williams for a second
Izzy
on
right
this show.
now.
Guaranteed.
Izzy is
That's an
guaranteed.
Izzy
for a second.
guarantee.
Yep.
And I would buy
Do you
like
have like
all day.
something we
A
can
gavel?
throw
All
in there
day.
as a guarantee?
I'm buying.
Oh.
I'm
It's
like,
like Charles Barkley's guarantee.
Men's
Yeah.
Warehouse.
Guarantee it.
Oh,
By the way,
sold.
this episode, the DTC portion of it is sponsored by Men's Warehouse. So Izzy guarantees it. I guarantee it.
Yeah, look,
You're gonna love the way you
You're
look.
gonna look fancy.
You're gonna love the way you
but
look.
cheap. It's gonna be great.
I guarantee
It's gonna
it.
be great.
I do like Mike Williams. Mike, if you're listening, you just got to figure a way to stay healthy.
That's it. That's it. And what's great is like right now, Mike is out there. It's like, wow, I'm finally being utilized how I should be utilized in the deep game, in the passing game out here. He's finally got a quarterback get the ball in deep. Listen, I love Mike Williams' talent. You're talking about a person who was taken in the top 10 in the NFL draft. You don't take players unless you're named John Ross in the top 10 in the NFL draft unless you have extreme talent. And Mike Williams coming out of college was somebody out of Clemson who's known to produce high-end receivers that can stay healthy, not Sammy Watkins, that could be fantasy football contributors. And I think Mike Williams has just not been healthy, but not been utilized to his strengths. The new coaches have saying this is a guy that should not be able to be covered one-on-one. So they're coming out of the gate saying, hey, we recognize his skill set. This is a guy you want to throw jump balls to downfield, preferably in the red zone. Keenan Allen, a pristine technical route runner, right? We all know him. He's a high fantasy football asset. But if we love, it always funnies me when people talk about like players, but they don't talk to players that correlate with them, right? So right now, one of the hottest quarterbacks in Dynasty right now is Justin Herbert.
Yep.
If you're in a super
He's so hot right now. He's like Hansel.
dude, he's like Rich Dotson. If you were to go to trade, I had Rob Wozniak offer me Trevor Lawrence, the 1-1 for Justin Herbert. I was like, no, thank you, because I know what I have. And I love Trevor Lawrence just as much guy. So that's how hot Trevor Lawrence is, right? Cut the hair, still hot. Doesn't matter. Let it flow some other places. Down low, up and up.
What'd you feel about Justin Herbert's haircut?
He's growing it back,
you-
so I approve.
Were you
got a
concerned
long
when
hair.
you first got it?
I was concerned for his love life, not as much so
for
for
the
his
game.
quarterback play.
Fair enough.
I
He's
was
the
like,
football version of, what is it, Samson that cut his hair from like ancient times and lost his
somebody
powers?
pay Samson.
I'm so concerned. Grow your hair back, Justin
Yeah,
Herbert.
he is. No,
Justin,
he is. He
he's
is.
watching the
100%.
show. Justin, grow
He's
your
back.
hair back.
He's
Let
back.
me ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
Next 3 years, who scores more fantasy points, Corey Davis or Mike Williams? Same draft class, both top 10 picks.
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, and here's why.
Tell me.
It's because one, Elijah Moore
Guaranteed?
has to
Guaranteed.
deal
I
with
guarantee it.
has to deal with Corey Davis, right? Who signed a long-term contract. So no matter what happens, he's there.
Denzel
right?
Mims.
Denzel Mims, who's having a
I
strong
love
camp.
Mims. I like
I'm
Mims.
okay with Mims as well. Not love, but okay.
I love Mims.
But Mike Williams, right now, the Chargers have said, like, hey, we're probably not going to pick up we're not probably going to re-sign him. So Mike Williams, probably, in my belief, Mike Williams have a solid enough year to go sign as a team's #1 wide receiver.
Really?
And then by contract alone, which again, in Dynasty, we're looking for guaranteed targets, guaranteed receptions, right? If you're paid wide receiver 1 number much money, they're going to try and scheme you into that system.
But wouldn't that be the same thing that you first, like Corey Davis kind of had that same situation?
I think the difference is I think Elijah Moore is there to offset that. I think Elijah Moore is the future wide receiver one on that team.
Corey Davis peaked last year. That's Mike Williams. This
No, and
year.
I like Corey Davis a lot. I'm actually a Corey Davis truther. It's just that I think Elijah Moore is so good that he eats into some of that.
Okay.
And I think Mike Williams can end up in a potentially, because if I'm going to gamble, I'm going to gamble on the upside. I'm going to gamble that Mike Williams finds himself into a situation to be that true number one receiver. So whether it be close on Corey Davis or not, for Corey Davis, we have two arguments to make. One, Elijah Moore, like I mentioned. Two, Zach Wilson panning out, right? So there's two things he's working against him right now. Mike Williams, in a situation he has, say it's a good enough year and he's franchise. Well, he's with Justin Herbert. He's with Keenan Allen, who you got to put your number one cornerback on. Two, they don't franchise him. He goes to another team. Well, if he has a really good year, he's making $16, $17, $18 million a year as a true number one team, whether it be Tua breaks out and he goes to the Miami Dolphins to offset Jalen Waddle. And they cut
Tua's not breaking out.
Because Devontae Parker has no more guaranteed money on his contract. Maybe he goes to who's another team that needs a number one wide receiver that pops off your mind?
But you're saying this all with the expectation. You're saying this all with the expectation that he actually follows through and has a healthy, successful season.
But I do believe
he's playing
so
for a
the problem.
contract, bro. Like fifth-year option last.
So he's
year
going to play through the injuries. He's going to like through it.
And I'm biased.
Yeah.
I admit I am biased because I am a Mike Williams truther. If you listen to Dynasty Nerds podcast, I am a Mike Williams truther, and I'm not willing to give up because I stand pat in what I believe in. And I believe in Mike Williams. I just think he's been a victim of circumstance, whether it not be utilized, whether it be injury, what have you. I think he's shown enough because what's crazy with Mike Williams, if you watch his highlight tapes throughout the season, you know he could play at a high level. He's shown it at the NFL level.
Yeah, but at the same time, my dad always told me you just have to take responsibility for your actions. You can't blame other people, which is what you're doing right now.
That's what I'm doing.
You're blaming everything but Mike Williams.
I'm not a responsible father. My kids are out there right now playing with handguns.
Probably.
Somebody can you guys check on the kids? Anybody?
I thought
they look cool.
They had an orange tip. I thought it was okay. I was duped. It is what it is. So I love the Mike Williams take. I love the Gus Edwards take. I love
Gabe Davis. You kind of love the Gabe Davis.
I
take?
do kind of. I love the value. Like it's not about.
Good.
And you hate the Darius Geis take. Hate it.
I don't like. Yeah, I don't really love it. Because listen, it's not always.
I like
about,
the Gary's. It's
not about loving the player always. It's about loving the value. It's why you should have the Dynasty Trade Calculator.
Then you should love Darius Geis
right now, and that's fine because he's free.
Yeah.
But listen, people say you'll hear some people in the industry like, "Oh, calculators are shit," right? Like, "Oh, you shouldn't judge on there." But that's fine if they're shit unless you have the absolute best calculator in the business. DynastyTradeCalculator.com is literally the best calculator in the business. So it's going to give you the fairest perspective on value. And it's all about value. And when you're playing Dynasty Fantasy Football, it's where is the value at? Again, Dynasty Fantasy Football is a simple game. Who to draft, who to buy, who to sell. What you guys offer the community is that exact tool to tell you who to draft, who to buy, who to sell. So obviously, like the Dynasty GM does at DynastyNerds.com, if you're looking for an encompass of the best tools to help you dominate your fantasy football league, that's what we provide together. The Dynasty GM and Dynasty Trade Calculator, because whether it be analytics or anything else, all this other information you want to throw into it, it's all nice. But all it boils down to this, guys, gals, who to buy, who to sell, who to draft.
You can untie Rich's family now. Thank you.
Don't pull those pins.
I told you I'd save you. I told you. DynastyTradeCalculator.com, DynastyNerds.com. Literally, in my opinion, the two best Dynasty Fantasy Football websites in the world today. Again, where can they find you?
At DTC_Izzy on Twitter or DynastyTradeCalculator.com.
I can be found at FF Hercules on Twitter, but at FF Dynasty Trades is the main handle. Please follow it. Thank you. And we are now officially nerds since we've been on your show, right?
You are officially
All right,
nerds.
I'm going to go ahead and slap this on here then. Oops, I did that.
That is officially a nerd. Look at that. Look at that. Dynasty Nerds forever.
I didn't bring mine.
I appreciate you guys so much. I respect you guys so much. I appreciate you guys so much. High five.
Fan of nerds.
High five. On to the next one.